Good morning everyone. Today we are going to talk about new concerns about environmental protection. Indeed, we want to know if the water quality has changed after it has been treated by wastewater treatment plant. Because of the emergence of new pollutants, are our rivers in danger? What kinds of techniques are used to fight against it?
Water and aquatic environment quality is a current environmental concern. Regulations such as the Grenelle of the Environment insist on good water status and aquatic environment restoration. In recent years, scientists have been seeking specific molecules, also known as emerging pollutants. This term refers to the pollutants for which no regulations currently requires monitoring or public reporting of their presence in our water supply or wastewater discharges. Even if these chemicals are not usually monitored, they have the potential to leach into the environment and cause adverse ecological and human health effects. Many constituents described as emerging pollutants are pharmaceuticals and personal care products. Currently, it's a big problem for wastewater treatment plants which are not equipped to handle these emerging pollutants, and so 80% of the Earth's pollution ends up in seas and oceans. This is a big threat for marine ecosystems. Emerging pollutants accumulate in the trophic chain. However, a new technique called phytopurification helps to fight these new pollutants. Do people know about phytopurification? Let's find out!
Non, aucune idée.
Non, absolument pas.
Non,
Jamais.
Vaguement.
la phytoépuration.
Bah moi la phytoépuration, je crois que j'en ai entendu parler une fois à la télé. Il me semblait que c'était utiliser des plantes comme le phytoplancton, enfin des bactéries naturelles qu'on aurait développées en laboratoire pour pouvoir épurer les eaux.
So, what's this new technique?
Qu'est-ce que c'est la phytoépuration? L'objectif, c'est de reproduire ce qui se passe dans la nature.
What is phytopurification? The aim is to reproduce the natural degradation of organic molecules by using closed ponds where we can control some
On arrive
parameters.
à contrôler par rapport à certains paramètres.
Indeed, phytopurification is a direct use of living green plants for the removal, degradation, or containment of contaminants in soils, sludge, sediments, surface water and groundwater. Plants have evolved a great diversity of genetic adaptations to handle the accumulated pollutants in the environment. Growing, and in some cases, harvesting plants on contaminated sites as a remediation method is a passive technique that can be used to clear water of pollutants.
The uptake of contaminants in plants occurs primarily through the root system. It is there that the main mechanisms for preventing contaminant toxicity are found. The plants absorb the water contaminated with pollutants and transform them into volatile products. Then they release them into the atmosphere. Moreover, some plants have the ability to produce enzymes which degrade pollutants and make them less toxic. The root system increases microbial activity by stimulating the degradation of pollutants. The plants can also absorb and accumulate inorganic molecules such as heavy metals. Finally, in order to completely remove pollutants from the environment, the plants have to be cut. Recently, scientists have started noticing that the whole aquatic environment was contaminated by substances present in very small quantities, such as pharmaceuticals or pesticides. So, those polluting elements that the wastewater treatment plants already treated up to 70 to 80% still remain in small quantities. As phytopurification is a complementary solution. In 2009, Suez Eau France created in Aero the zone libellule, which means biological freedom zone, and fight against emerging pollutants. They had the opportunity to build this zone because both Saint-Just and Saint-Nazaire villages were rebuilding their wastewater treatment plants, and an area was available next to it. In this zone, there are 8 ponds with different plant species and associated microorganisms, which absorb some pollutants. It cost about 300,000 euros to build it without including the scientific study, plus an extra 30,000 euros per year to supervise all the maintenance operations, like cutting or collecting, for example. As the zone libellule is built in the south of France, not all plants can be used.
Indeed, we have chosen local varieties. We would not put the same in Strasbourg, in Brittany or in the south. We have selected varieties that will fully bloom. The chosen local varieties are known for their roles in the degradation of specific molecules.
In Saint-Just, the wastewater treatment plant generates treated wastewater in conformity with European standards. For phytopurification, basic parameters such as COD, BOD, SS, nitrogen and phosphorus are analyzed. Turbidity, conductivity, temperature and redox potential are also measured. Thanks to the zone libellule, many emerging pollutants are eliminated. Currently, they found 300 emerging molecules and for more than half of them, there was a decrease of 70%. So they are not rejected into the river. Moreover, there is a groundwater table underneath the zone libellule. This groundwater table is very close to the ground, around 2 meters deep, even less when it rains a lot. So, a study of this groundwater table quality was done before building the zone. In order to avoid diseases, the study also verified that there was no water pump station after the rejection zone. Now, due to its beneficial impact on the environment, we could wonder if it's possible to expand such a zone.
Yes, the zone libellule was set up according to the amount of water that flows through it. Before building such area, the aim has to be defined. In Saint-Just, the ratio is about 3,000 population equivalent to 1.5 hectares. We set up a similar zone with a ratio of around 10,000 population equivalent to 5 hectares. So, it is proportional. However, 80% of towns in France have less than 10,000 inhabitants. So, they could build zones, like the zone libellule, to improve treated wastewater.
As it is proportional, it is difficult for big cities to build this kind of zone. Nevertheless, a kind of zone libellule was built over 12 hectares in Shanghai, China, and over 100 hectares in Venice, Italy. Future decrees will come out to encourage governments to build more constricted wetlands such as the zone libellule in addition to wastewater treatment plants. This is a real challenge for the preservation of our critical environment. In conclusion, water pollution is a serious worldwide problem that urgently requires monitoring. Today, we need to stop emerging pollutants from spreading because fish are more and more contaminated. Moreover, fish have a big part in human and animal diets. Thanks to constricted wetlands, like the zone libellule, the wastewater rejected by some wastewater treatment plants is perfectly treated. Nevertheless, in big cities such as Marseille, both rainwater and treated wastewater are rejected into the sea without any phytopurification treatment. Rainwater rejection in seas remains a huge problem to solve. However, in Naples, Florida, a constricted wetland was set up to treat rainwater before it is rejected into the environment. The result is a tremendous decrease in emerging pollutants, and we can say that it is a real success. So, We can conclude that to limit water pollution from emerging pollutants, when water in treated wastewater should go through a phytopurification process.
Thank you very much for watching and stay tuned for more information. It was Gaëtan for Masterset TV. Goodbye everyone.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, and let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand